Hello, this is Ginger from WebWench DIY Nails. Today we're going to jump right into sweater nails, this 3D sugared look. I'm going to put up in the cards for you the video on that holographic lens flare look that was next to the sweater nails in that picture that flew in and out real quick. So this video is, the entire thing is double speed. I'm starting with this mani at the point where I had just applied my builder gel over the chunky glitters and even my color. Why do I use builder gel over all my stuff? Because I knew I needed to balance this manicure out after filling in the builder gel. I needed to balance it, to reshape, reform, resituate my apexes because they had grown out and moved forward a little bit. I knew I had a lot of filing to do, and this is the finished product of that filing session. Also, with putting the sugared sweater nail design on my nails, I knew I couldn't refile tomorrow if I didn't like it. So I really spent a lot of time filing and buffing very smooth because I knew I was going to use a matte top coat. In order to not get streaks on my mat or to get the best performance out of my matte top coat, I decided to buff really smooth. I'm really proud of this filing job that I did because 6 days later, it's still 6 days? No, 4 days. It feels like a year, okay? It was a week. Days later, it looks great. It really, really does. Even the sugared effect has lasted and held up. It didn't flake away like I was afraid it would. Same with the mermaid glitter on the ring finger. Anyway, this is how the matte came out. I love it. I love this matte coat. I'll put links to all the products I used in the description box below. A lot of double dipped, some Cascade Colorworks, some Macart, and some base and matte coat that I found on Amazon that I can't remember the name of. And the double dip mermaid powder that I use on the ring finger, wait till you see. It's magical. It's absolutely magical. Anyway, here we go. I go in with the gel liner in white. Now that I have the matte top coat is great to work on when you're doing any kind of painting art, line art on your nails, because if you screw up, you can just get an alcohol wipe and lint-free wipe and just wipe it right off, start all over again. And you can use your cleanup brush with alcohol to clean up your lines. Anyway, the idea is to go down the middle of your nail to get that cable knit look. And I saw Marla Chris do this first. She explains everything so clearly. And then I saw Melissa's manis do it. And she called them 11s. You put 11s down the center of the nail. We're all in Marla Chris's Facebook group. It's just celebrating 10,000 DIY nail enthusiasts with no drama. Hit me up in messages if you'd like an invitation. And anyway, so like Melissa said, you just put the 11s down the center of the nail and as even as you can. I like to leave a little bit more room between the 11s bottom sides just so I can do this line across and have it be distinct. As a crocheter, I'm very familiar with what stitches look like that close up, and I wanted to kind of get that stitch feeling the best I could throughout the entire design. So I left a little bit more space than some I've seen, and because that's the way I like this to look. And then you just connect the bottom left to the top right of each 11, as you saw me do here. And at the top, depending on the length of your nail, you'll have more room to work. I had that little bit of space left at the top of the nail, so I decided to just like, okay, where would this stitch have come from? Over there. Okay, I just kind of lead back. Now, I'm using, for the most part, I'm using the liner brush that comes with the liner gel. And it's great. It worked great for me. If you don't want to have to go and buy brushes and stuff and you want to just use the brush that comes with it, my only advice would be make sure you brush off the excess paint, even from the, the neck of the brush, the entire thing. Get all of that extra paint out of there or it's going to blop on you. So I guess I should explain what I just did. After I painted the design and I was sure that, everything was where I wanted it, I just took the Cascade color, or no, Concord color from Cascade Colorworks, and I just dropped that powder over the wet gel paint until I thought it was fully covered. Then I tapped it off, and then I put it in the gel lamp for 60 seconds, just like I will with every single layer. The reason I do it after each piece is because I'm clumsy and I will nudge it and I will move it and then I will get mad. So to avoid all of that, when I'm happy with a design, I cure it real quick. I do it for a minute because I'm paranoid about gel allergies, so I make sure there's no uncured gel on my nails. And so you pour the powder over, you tap it off so the light can get down to the gel and cure it. Put it in your lamp for 60 seconds. You probably only need 30 to flash cure because you're going to be putting it in and out again anyway. And then when you take it out, I use my my light brush, not my scrubby brush, because I want the design to stay. And I just firmly get the excess off that way, and then I go and I do those lines on the side that you saw again. If you're going to use the liner brush that comes with the liner gel, just make sure to get the extra paint off the neck of your brush and the brush itself. And a lot of smaller strokes with less paint may take more time, but you'll get a better result. Again, everything with this hobby revolves around patience for me. That's what forces the Zen moments that you get with the self-care and the quiet and the constant. If it is quiet, I don't know, maybe you blast music, whatever. But part of the reason I do this and I enjoy this so much is because it forces me to focus on something that is a creative outlet that I really enjoy. And I went to art school. I've always enjoyed creating something from nothing. So, after the lines, I did the same process. When you're happy with the design, you put the powder over top and then you put it in your light, you cure, you come back out, you do your next portion. Now, to me, because I am a crocheter maybe, the lines on the side that you see, if you're like me, you watch 10,000 videos on the same thing before you try it yourself. Well, that's what I did. I watched everybody on the internet who's ever done sweater nails do them so I could get ideas and take a little bit from each one that I think I can use. And after watching all of that stuff, I came to the conclusion that the lines on the side of the nail are supposed to be representative of the smaller stitches that are on the outside of a cable when you have a cable knit. So I gave it my best shot at getting smaller lines that I might want to curve in a certain direction underneath each other so that they looked like stacked or nested stitches, crochet stitches, because I don't knit. So that's why my lines on the side look like this. Now, this is the first time I've ever done any sugaring or gel paint with powder on top. And I have fallen completely in love with it. Let me tell you, I didn't think I was going to like it. I thought the texture on the top was going to bother me. Well, after about a day, the texture on the top kind of self-levels, even though it's not moving. But the excess powder and stuff like that, it just gets a smoother surface. So it's really, I kind of love it, honestly. Anyway. So this is the finished nail, and because we did the matte top coat, my color underneath is protected, and it's sugared. I want to keep that texture on the top, so we're not going to do anything else. That nail is done after curing for 60 seconds. So I go on to the ring finger next because I cannot wait to use this mermaid powder. I got this mermaid powder at least 2 months ago, and I have been waiting for just the right time to use it for something because it is magic in a jar. It is not, it's called mermaid powder. I don't know what it's made out of. I don't know its compounds, okay? But in my simple mind, it's not glitter in acrylic. It's purely glitter. Very finely, super finely milled glitter. And when I say super, super fine, I mean it. Because 4 or 5 days later, whatever it is, I'm looking at my nails. I'm in a dimly lit room, and I have a light off on the other side of the room. And as I move that nail with that mermaid powder, just slightly, just enough to catch a piece of the light, I can see pink, green, blue, just hints of sparkles of those colors in this mermaid powder as I move my finger. And it just catches your eye every once in a while, and it's like a little bit of Christmas magic right there on your nail is how I felt earlier today. I'm telling you, it has been a week at work. We were so busy and so much crazy stuff and just so much intense, detailed work. I stayed late tonight so that, because tomorrow's Thanksgiving as I do this voiceover, and I just wanted to be able to enjoy my holiday weekend. I don't go back until Monday. I wanted to be able to enjoy it without feeling like I had left things unfinished that were going to be waiting for me first thing in the morning on Monday. So I worked a little late tonight, even though I knew I wanted to do this voiceover. So now I can enjoy my 4-day weekend. That, I think, was the point of me saying all that. Welcome to my brain at 11 o'clock at night, the day before a holiday. But I mean, I do the same thing on the ring finger that I did on the index finger, and the only difference was I used the mermaid powder instead, and I didn't experience any difference in the process with the different powder. I think I learned a little bit more about using the brush that comes with the gel paint. Why did I do that? I have art brushes. I have the really, really long brushes. But, I mean, when I pulled this out of the gel liner, I've used it before, but I've never done anything quite like this with it before. When I looked at the brush, it looked good. It looked like it would work for me, so I figured I'd give it a try, experiment. That's what I do. And it worked. I have no complaints, honestly, about the brush that came with the gel liners. And again, I'll put the links down below. I can't even remember right now I have so many different things I pull out of a bucket, and I just, in the heat of the inspiration, I just pull it out and whatever. It's still on my nail desk, so I'll just look at it all and I'll list it in the description. You gotta laugh. And you may be asking, I realize now, why I pour over sometimes directly out of the jar that the powders come in, why sometimes instead I will use the eyeshadow brush like you saw me tapping off. I can't really tell you why. I think that if I'm going for a sturdier, stronger powder layer, I'll just dump it right out of the jar over my nail, over my gel base. It's when I'm looking for the thinnest possible layer that I can get that I use the tap off the eyeshadow brush method. I do a lot of everything instinctually, and sometimes I don't think about why, I just do. So, but ultimately, I try to get the thinnest layers I can when I do either the gel or the dip liquid method. And with gels, I have found that the thinnest layer possible is always going to be this tapping off with the shadow brush method. And because this was going to be a 3D textured design, I didn't want to be annoyed by the sparkles on the top of the nail. So I figured that the thinnest layer, without sacrificing the effect, is what I was going to try. And it worked for me, because a few days later it's worn enough to not feel high up and textured on my nail. It's very slight now, and the effect is awesome. So I go on and I can't stop sugaring, so I decided to do the swirl design on this nail, and used yet another glitter I got from iGel Beauty, I think, the purple one there. But I just wanted to touch on one thing. I decided to use the white paint, the white gel liner paint, for my sugaring, because out of all the videos that I watched and all the different ways, some people use top coat or base coat rather, I meant base coat. They will use base coat to paint their designs on and then sugar that. I would imagine that you get a truer reflection of the glitter that you're sugaring with that way. But I wanted to go more with a contrast kind of look. I figured if I kept the white gel liner paint underneath the sugared powder, it would lighten the color a little bit, enough to give me a nice contrast against the dark purple background that I have. And I mean, it doesn't really matter with the mermaid powder, because that was mostly white anyway. It gives that fake snow look. That's the look. That's the look I get with the mermaid. When I look down just now at the mermaid powdered nail, it gives that, you know, at Christmas time they do the windows with that fake snow that has glitter in it sometimes, and it's just kind of rough. That's what this reminds me of. That's what it is. So yeah, I use the white to get more of a contrast. If you don't want that and you want a truer color to the background that it's on, I then maybe try the gel base coat, which is clear, because then I think that you'll get less contrast and more of a uniformed color for your sugar. I don't know, maybe I'll try that next. But I knew I wanted contrast, because that's kind of the way I live. Probably the fairest redhead you've ever seen. My skin, it has no pigment at all, and I always wear the black eyeliner because that's the best contrast. So it's just a theme in my life, I think. So here I am going in on the nails, the glitter nails. I did have the matte top coat on the glitter nails, but something about the entire nail being chunky glitter, I wanted the glitter to shine, so I put the top coat, the shiny top coat, on both of the glitter nails over the matte. Doesn't hurt anything. It's an extra layer of strength as far as I'm concerned. I keep my layers thin, so it was no big deal. And then I decided, since I wound up with this swirly design on the middle finger, that I like the look of some of a nail glossy and some of it matte. So that's why I did that here, but I realized, because I did kind of a waterfall ombre with flaky glitter on that nail, you can't really tell that it's gloss on one side. It's really hard to tell. Oh, now that I look down at it, I can tell, but whatever. It was an experiment. I wanted to see what it was like to do shiny top on one side of a sugar design, and, you know, all of that. So I liked it. I really enjoyed doing this, Manny. It was a lot of fun. And now I go in with my Nail Career Education gingerbread cookie oil. That smells so good. And this is the one thing I'm still not very good at, but I've gotten over, is applying the oil to sugared nails. I tried to keep it, and matte top coat specifically, any matte top coat, when you get the cuticle oil on it, all of a sudden it's shiny and it kind of defeats the purpose of being matte. And I've noticed that with some matte top coats, not this one because I haven't done it on this one to chance it, but if you use alcohol, I had matte top coat on once and I wanted to wipe off the oil from the nail for my pictures. So like I would normally do with shiny top coat, I got a lint-free wipe with some alcohol and I tried to get the oil off the nail, and I was left with like a white sheen or a cloudiness from the alcohol. So I had to wash my hands. It was a whole big deal. But you know, so I didn't put alcohol on this wipe trying to get the oil off the nail, and I noticed that the lint-free wipe was catching on the glitter. That's kind of irritating. But like I said, the glitter wears a little bit after a day, and it's not quite like that. It does still catch my hair, just so you're forewarned. The glitter, the glittery nail catches my hair when I'm putting it up and stuff. But other than that, I couldn't be happier with this manicure. I love the sweater design look. It has given me so many different ideas for so many cute Christmas manicures that I have planned. I can see myself doing this a couple times a week if given half the chance. So be on the lookout for some videos on the way. Sorry about the awkward close-up, but I wanted to show the design because that's what I'm always interested in seeing when I watch a video. So let me see the design better. So there you go. If you made it this far, I really appreciate you. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. I'm hoping to grow this channel, and I kind of need cheerleading sometimes. So subscribe, like, comment, say hi. Let me know you were here. I would really appreciate it. Sorry I talk so much. Sorry no music. I just can't. I need quiet sometimes. Quiet in the background. So good luck, adventurers. Have fun with your nails. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your families. And may the only thing shinier than your nails be your smile. See you in the next video.